So, the Joe Kelly situation. First things first, rant warning. I might get a little ranty here. That's just because of how passionately I feel about this. And there's a couple things that happened in this that have been going on way too long. And I gotta get it off my chest. So, to recap, Dodgers and Astros were playing each other. These two teams do not like each other because of various reasons now. They played against each other a lot, and trash cans and so on in World Series. Joe Kelly's in the game. He is the headline of our story after all. He's throwing pretty wildly. He has no control of his fastball whatsoever. It's pretty apparent. Bregman comes up to bat, 3-0 count, because he can't locate his fastball. The next pitch just so happens to fly about head high for Bregman and a little outside. Bregman takes his base. And you could chalk this up to Joe Kelly losing control. Next couple at bats, Michael Brantley, he continues to throw it, without any control. But he then starts throwing over to first base at Bregman, and he's throwing these balls hard, hard towards Bregman. And I don't think you would see someone throw that hard toward another player if they didn't have some intention to it, and especially doing it over and over and over again. So Brantley grounds out, or he gets into a fielder's choice, and Bregman grounds out. Gurriel is the next batter. He gets walked in 4 pitches. Once again, Joe Kelly does not have much control over his fastball. Next guy is Correa. He tries to throw him some fastballs. They don't work. Sort of start running inside on him. So then he just starts throwing his curveballs, and eventually he strikes him out. And these two, mainly Joe Kelly, start jawing at each other. Joe Kelly just will not stop talking trash. Carlos Correa is getting mad at him, starts talking trash back. Bench is clear. That was basically that. But that's the whole incident. Basically, Joe Kelly, you could say, I think that, 3-0 count, what'll a fastball toward his head do? That type of thing. And then especially, I think, with him throwing over to first, throwing it so hard, that's what really cemented it for me, is him doing it on purpose. So, Joe Kelly then gets suspended for 8 games now, which is equivalent to 22 games in a regular season. So this is no small suspension we're talking about here. And let's break this down. So first things first, I just have to get this out of the way. I don't condone ever players trying to hurt each other. Joe Kelly, whether he meant to or not, it looked like he was going at Bregman's head. I can't condone that under any circumstances. I know a lot of people want to make him the hero of the situation. I don't think throwing at someone's head is the right way to go about it, but that's baseball. And this situation, to me, just shows how much the MLB is shooting themselves in the foot at this point, and how unwritten rules in baseball, which have been around for a long time, basically forever, they'll always give the justification that players feel that someone deserves in a certain situation. And I find myself, because of the MLB's incompetence with this situation and with the Astros, I find myself defending the unwritten rules for the first time ever. Because while I am sort of a traditionalist, I am an NL fan. I'm a National League fan. The Brewers are my team, so I do like things such as no DH. I think it adds a little more strategy, but I understand changes like that. The unwritten rules, to me, just don't make any sense, and they're just for old guys who have something stuck up their you-know-whats. They include things such as, you're not allowed to watch your home runs. You're supposed to get back at a guy if he does your team wrong. Just super dumb, old-timey stuff. Like I said, these old guys who have something stuck up where the sun doesn't shine, just all in their feelings about players having fun, basically, I think, in the game. And some examples of how bad the unwritten rules are for baseball. Last year, we had Tim Anderson versus Brad Keller. And you are probably pretty familiar with this if you follow baseball. So last year, around April, Brad Keller is pitching against Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson hits a bomb off of him. Tim Anderson looks at his dugout, chucks his bag, gets all excited. He's like, let's go! He gets super excited. Brad Keller apparently doesn't like that. So Brad Keller hits him with a pitch next at bat, plunks him in the hip, showing that he watched the ball too long. He had a little too much fun for hitting a home run off of him. Just think of how dumb that sounds. You're going to hit a guy because you gave up a home run to him and he celebrated too hard about it. That's so dumb to me. Anyway, they exchange words. Tim is understandably mad about this. Sorry, neighbors next door must be opening some bottles or something. And Tim is mad about it, obviously. I would be mad too if someone threw a home run or threw a ball at me just for watching a home run. So, Keller was ejected, which, that makes sense. He literally threw a freaking ball at his head. But so was Tim Anderson. Why? He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't start any of this. Brad Keller is the one who plunked him in the hip with a fastball. I don't understand. And then, to add on to the MLB's incompetence here, is what I'm trying to get at basically this whole story, is the MLB sucks. Brad Keller was suspended 5 games, which is basically 1 game for a pitcher, because you have usually a game and then 4 days off. And Tim Anderson was suspended for a game. Why? What did he do wrong besides watch a home run, have a little fun, and then get mad when someone tried to hit him over it? It doesn't make any sense. He barely did any talking. It's so dumb. And the MLB enforces the unwritten rules by basically letting Keller get away with it, by giving them both the same punishment, saying that they were both in the wrong somehow. Here's another one. August, 2 years ago, young gun Ronald Acuna, sorry, Mom's leaving the driveway, go pick up my sister from work, she'll also probably be back. Ronald Acuna comes into the game, 5 straight home runs, slashing a line of 288, 348, 576. 19 home runs, 17 doubles, 43 RBIs in 67 games. Basically in the race for the Rookie of the Year. And what does Jose Urena do from the Marlins, who sucked, because they always suck? What does he decide to do with his very first pitch of the game? 97-mile-an-hour fastball, straight at his elbow. Hurts him, leaves the game, has to get x-rays. Now, luckily, they were negative, He was only out for a couple of games. I don't even know if he was out for a couple. He might have been out for 1 game. But still, you're going to throw at a guy just because he's doing well? I don't understand this. And there were people I saw literally defending Jose Urena in this situation, trying to say, well, of course he would throw at him. Ronald Acuna is doing so good. You don't want him on the field. Really? Is this how you're going to be about it? So you're telling me you don't want to face the best of the best? I thought you guys were supposed to be the professionals here. You're going to sit here and defend a guy for throwing at him because he's doing too well? What kind of logic is that? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, and you know how the MLB responds to this? So Ronald Acuna now, young bright star of the MLB, right? Potential face of the MLB down the line. Jose Urena, nobody from Miami. How long do they suspend him? 6 games. 6 games. Basically a 2-game suspension for a pitcher for throwing at a guy's elbow. And they ruled that as when it was intentional that he threw at him. So why are you not suspending him for longer? To set the precedent for the future. Does not make any sense. And these incidents they just don't make any sense to me. The MLB is so bad with giving out punishments about drawing the line when it needs to be drawn and forcing the game. So Joe Kelly, for this incident, for probably throwing at Alex Bregman, not hitting him, and then talking some trash to Correa. 8 games, 22-game suspension in a regular season. For not even hitting the Astro hitters. And then guess what? He's also getting a longer suspension than those Astros hitters who also did the trash can thing, who banged on trash cans, who got help, literally won a World Series off of cheating. It blows my mind. Joe Kelly, for throwing at the guys who cheated, gets suspended longer than the cheaters do. What the heck's going on here, MLB? What are we doing? Are you just going to decide to enforce some rules and enforce others? Once again, man, they are... It just... So this is what happens. You know, the Astros, who did cheat and basically got away with it. I mean, you only had to fire your... They didn't even have to fire their GM and coach. They fired them themselves. They're only suspended for a year. So, when the Astros come in and jaw off the whole offseason about how nothing's changed and we're still the top dogs and all this stuff, and they're still the team to beat in the MLB, the unwritten rules are going to come into play here. Because players see that on other teams and they're like, oh, we don't like that. And we don't like you jawing off even after it's proven that you were cheating. And this is exactly what Joe Kelly did. He grounded them. He reminded them that, hey, you guys are in the wrong here. And how did he do it? With a 90-mile-an-hour fastball straight at their heads. Once again, the MLB is just shooting themselves in the foot here with this situations, with these terrible rulings. And this game is absolutely being ruined by some old white guys who probably can't even remember what they had for breakfast. And let alone how much more the game has evolved for the better, you know. Kids celebrating. You're telling me you don't want that? Look at what the NFL has done with their celebrations in the end zone. They embraced it. They realized, hey, you know what? This is fun. People like seeing people celebrate. They like seeing people have a good time, be able to enjoy themselves when they do something good, like scoring a touchdown, hitting a home run. They said, you know what? Embrace it. Let's loosen the rules a little bit. And let's let them have some fun, you know. And it's like MLB. How long are you gonna let this go on for? Because these are the moments I wish I wasn't a fan of baseball. When dumb stuff like this happens, and I'm sure there's people outside of the sport looking in right now just laughing their heads off, being like, "Wow, I can't believe you guys still follow this sport." I don't blame those people, honestly. This is getting ridiculous. Get whoever's in charge of rulings, get them out of here, fire them. Put me in charge of rulings. I'll do a much better job than those clowns who are doing it right now. Put the players in their place. Punish those who did something wrong, not the ones who are trying to do something about it. Also, hashtag free Joe Kelly. I'm fully on board with it now. Unwritten rules generally do suck, but in this case, I have to back them because the MLB is too incompetent to do anything about it.